Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about games that the Switch 2 hopefully gets a new entry for. Old Nintendo games, games that appeared on the Nintendo system that haven't really got a new entry during the Switch generation. And it shocks me because that's a perfect opportunity with that 150 million install base to test out, to see, or re-establish old franchises. So here's a list of franchises I would like to see. These aren't exclusive to Nintendo, but right up front, there's only 2 of them that are non-Nintendo. The rest of them are, and there's about 8 of them. So let's get right into this list. All right, so the first one on this list, a little game called Jet Force Gemini. Now, I played this to death on the N64. I saved all the little teddy bear guys. The controls on this game were so difficult that it took a long time to master it. I remember seeing the cover of the game. I love the way the characters looked. I love the little dog, just the uniqueness of it, and the cool aliens, bad guys in it, and everything. The final boss took like 100 tries to try to beat that guy. But I remember when you're a little kid and you can only get so many games, you're kind of determined to beat that game. I remember I played it like every day for a week. I come home from school. I remember I almost had him, that final boss. It was super hard because of the way you aim in the game was so difficult. You have to hold a button down and aim with the joystick, and it was inverted back then. All games back then were basically forced inverted. It wasn't until later games where they allowed you to invert the controls. And then what's funny is that this was back when old games, like I just said, didn't have the double joystick. Like every single game, my Switch is on right now, has the dual joysticks. And it's funny how Xbox introduced the offset ones. I always preferred the PlayStation ones because I played the crap out of PlayStation also growing up. And I was always a Nintendo kid until they released the Wii. And I was not a big fan of the Wii. Wagging controls? Nah, give me a normal controller. Anyway, so first one is Jet Force Gemini. I know Xbox and Microsoft own Rare and the IP, but they're not doing anything at all with it, so it would be really cool. It's like a team up thing to bring it back, and that would be awesome. I know they never will because it's one of those games that didn't sell very well and didn't review well, but it's such a unique game. I feel like if it had modern controls, especially with it being on the expansion pack, and I know I believe it's on Rare Replay, which I haven't tried that version out. If they just give it modern controls, this game would be awesome. It was one of my favorite games on the N64, and it never got a sequel. Anyway, so next game is Dr. Mario, one of the greatest puzzle games ever. I feel like they wanted to try to make their own version of Tetris, and I liked how they went about it. And it was funny how they have to involve Mario because Mario is a brand. It's easier to sell that way. If they just called it Doctor Puzzle Pieces or Capsules or something, it probably would never have done as well. I have a personal connection with this because growing up, my uncle had to move in with us because of his Biosh ex-wife, divorced him and took everything he owned. So he lived with us for a while, and him and my father would get super pissed at each other playing Dr. Mario. It was so funny to see growing up because it was just a puzzle game, right? They weren't gamers really, so they would their bonding exercises was working out because my uncle was a bodybuilder. And they would get so pissed at each other playing Dr. Mario. It's not Call of Duty, it's not something else, it's dropping pieces on each other in Dr. Mario. It was so funny to see. They would throw the controller, and those things were rock hard at the TV. Sometimes it would stick into the old Philips CRT TV, the speaker parts, and then they never cracked the screen. There was little chips in the screen, and it's funny as I ended up inheriting that TV, so the thing worked for years and years after that, which is shocking considering all the abuse it took from Dr. Mario. So anyway, I'd love to see a new entry. I believe the last one was on I want to say the 3DS or the Wii. I don't remember. Anyway, I would love to see a new Dr. Mario on the Nintendo Switch 2 with all the bells and whistles. It could be a download title. I would definitely buy that. Hopefully not $80. Nobody will buy an $80 Dr. Mario game. Anyway, the next game is a more unique game, but it's one I really like, a franchise I really like, and I hope we get a sequel on the Switch too. is Fossil Fighters. Fossil Fighters on the DS and 3DS was a super unique game where you're basically an archaeologist. You go dig up bones, and you use the cool stylus controls to, like, you know, dust off the bones and stuff. I thought that was a really unique idea. And then once you get your dinosaur made of those bones, you go and fight with dinosaurs, like in Pokemon and stuff. I wonder if they stopped making it because they were afraid of competing with Pokemon. They have a game in literally the monster taming genre. Why would they have another one to compete with it? To me, they were so different that they wouldn't compete with each other. In fact, why didn't they just make Pokemon Fossil Fighters, or just turn it into a Pokemon game, but it's ancient fossils? Because there are fossils in Pokemon. That would have been super cool. Like, you dig up fossils, and every Pokemon in the game is just fossil Pokemon. So your Kabutops and all that kind of stuff, Omastar, that'd be super fun. I would love to play that. But anyway, I would love to see a new entry in Fossil Fighters. They should have tried something on the Switch because it has such a huge install base to really bring the franchise back and test the waters with it. It shocks me they didn't. Going into the Switch too, maybe the more powerful hardware, they can do something really cool with it. Make it like a third-person action game where you can ride the dinosaurs, kind of like in maybe Ark Survival. I mean, they could go nuts with this game and have that archaeologist thing in there still, because now the Switch 2 has mouse controls. So you can use the mouse instead of, or they probably have normal controls too, but they can make it to where you can use the mouse like you're dusting off the thing. That would be super fun. So I really hope we get a new Fossil Fighters. Now, the next one is Wario World, the one that was on GameCube. This game was super fun. I remember I rented it from, it was either Blockbuster or Hollywood Video, whichever one. I think it was Hollywood Video. Whichever one was with Game Crazy before they went out of business. It was like a Mario game, but like an evil Mario game or something, where you can just beat the crap out of people with your bare hands. And it's this little tiny guy with huge fists. I don't know. I've always liked Wario. I really liked that game. I was really hoping they would make a sequel to it, but I don't think they ever did. I know they made like a 2D game on the Wii where you were like shake money out of people with the Wiimote. But no, we never got another 3D Wario World. So I would love another 3D Wario World. This time, instead of the isometric camera, I would love to be able to move the camera around, kind of like make it like a full 3D. Well, I guess I could make it like Kirby Forgotten Lands, but then it would be exactly the same. I want like a full-blown Donkey Kong Bonanza level of Wario World. That would be huge. I'm not a big fan of Wario Land or the minigame Bonanza thing. I don't like those. I want like an actual Wario World game. I think that'd be really cool. Not 2D, 3D. You got the Switch 2 power now. Let's make 3D games. Let's do it. Let's make it like it was on the 64, where everything was 3D and it was freaking amazing. So, a new Wario World would be cool. Next up, and this is probably my favorite video game character of all time, and that is Mega Man. Now, we got Mega Man 11 like, 5-6 years ago? I forget how long ago it was. And then nothing. Like, nothing. I would love for them to reboot the Mega Man Legends series, or at least bring it back in the collection. There's so many ways they could bring Mega Man back as a third-person game. I don't want any more 2D games. He has a gajillion 2D games. 2D games with Mega Man, like, they've been done to death. Like, I don't want any more 2D games. And this is coming from a guy this is his favorite franchise. This is his favorite series. My favorite game of all time to this day is Mega Man X on the Super Nintendo. I love that game. I've beaten it 1,000 times. I know where all the secrets are. I could beat it in like 45 minutes. I love that game. It is my favorite game. I play it like every couple of years just to replay it again. So, there's one spot I always die, and it's on the octopus stage. And it says stupid little, where you're on this tiny little pad and the big blowfish thing sucks you in or blows you away. I always end up falling in spikes. I'm like, darn. Otherwise, I never die in the game. If I can make it past that part without dying, then I could beat the rest of it without dying, because I remember everything in that game. And there's not a very many games that I remember every little detail about. That's one of them, because I played it so freaking much. Anyway, so I would either like a third-person Mega Man X game, like a reboot of the entire franchise and story, or a third-person retelling and reboot of the Legend series. That would be really cool. Heck, even a third-person Mega Man, the original series game. Give me something. Even Battle Network. Like, anything at this point. But please, no more 2D. We've done 2D to death. It's 2025. Mega Man needs to be in 3D. I'm sorry. I'm done with 2D Mega Man. If they announced a new 2D Mega Man, I'd be excited, but I'd also be bummed because like 2D again. And I think a lot of the fans would be like, I guess I'll play it. I'm like, meh. Like there was this one game, I can't remember the name of it, where it's like a spiritual successor to Mega Man X, and it's on Steam. I believe it's on the Switch. And I believe I played it on the PlayStation 4. I'm trying to remember what the heck it's called. Sound off the comments if you can think of it. But it was actually a really fun game, but it's just not Mega Man. It's just not Mega Man. All right, now, number 3, Custom Robo. Custom Robo is a very unique, like, how do I explain this? Like, you basically create your own little tiny robot, kind of like in Gundam, like Gunpla. I feel like Gunpla, the newer games... The, what is that, Gundam, what is it called? It just came out, look at the 4th one, Gundam Breakers, that's it. Gundam Breakers 4. I played the 3rd one on the PlayStation. Basically, you get little parts and pieces, you build a little robot, and then you go and fight in a level and stuff. But in Custom Robo, it's literally just in a battle arena, kind of like in Power Stone. So you're in this tiny little arena, and you're fighting other little robots, and the combat was really unique. It was really different. You can customize your little robot. The story was a little weird, but other than that, it was mostly about the gameplay. And I know they released one, I think it was on the DS, and I love that one too. So anyway, Custom Robo, another franchise they could have brought back during the Switch era, the current Switch, to really give it a chance to see if people are interested, and then make another one, an even better one, on the Switch too. There's so many franchises that they just didn't take a chance on this gen, and it blows my mind. Anyway, I love Custom Robo. I'd love to see it come back. It's one of the more unique Nintendo games that hasn't been around, I want to say, since the GameCube and the DS. That was a long time ago. All right, number 2. And this should come to no shocker, and you're probably like, why hasn't he said this yet? And that's Star Fox. Where the hell was Star Fox on the Switch? Sure, they brought the Super Nintendo sequel that was exclusive to the stupid NES Mini, or whatever the hell it was called, and they made one on the Wii U, and they probably thought because of the poor sales of that, or because it wasn't widely received well, that, people don't want Star Fox. No, we want Star Fox with a normal control set, not that whatever the hell the Wii U was. I think everybody saw the reviews and saw how it controlled, and they're like, nah, Ben, this ain't it. Like the Wii U gamepad and how you controlled it, it was so weird. It's like, go back to the old games. And now for the Star Fox franchise in particular, and a lot of you guys are going to hate me for this, but my favorite Star Fox is Adventures, Star Fox Adventures, because it has a little bit of the ship combat, it has adventures combat, it's like a complete game that way. So if they make a new Star Fox, I kind of want Star Fox Adventures 2. They could make it to where when you're flying to the different planets, that there's these big awesome ship battle levels, and then you're on the planet and you're doing missions like in Star Fox Adventures. I wonder if that's why they stopped making them. They couldn't decide what they wanted it to be, because there was Star Fox Assault, where it's kind of like an arena shooter type thing, or like waves of shooter. That game was like 5 hours long. It was so short, I don't even remember the context of the game. All I remember is that it had cool combat, it was really short, and it wasn't worth the full price. I think I ended up trading that in right away. But anyway, Star Fox Adventures was super fun, but instead of making it like you're part of a tribal thing, like dinosaurs and stuff like that, where you had a staff weapon, actually have like tech. Like make it a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter. You could have weapons also like lightsabers and stuff. There's so many cool things they could. It'd be really cool to make it an action game like Devil May Cry, but also have guns. Maybe kind of like Stellar Blade, even. Stellar Blade that just came out earlier, I want to say, was it last year? It was last year on the PS5, where it has gun gameplay and melee combat. Something like that. Something totally different and unique, but also have long levels where you're going back and forth between worlds of ship combat. And even when you're landing on the planet, have a big awesome ship mission. So that way you could please everybody. And then they could even have it to where after you beat the game, you could have it to where New Game Plus, you only play the spaceship missions, or you only play the ground missions, or you can do both again. I feel like that way you can please everybody, and it would just be so cool to see another Star Fox Adventures. I know a lot of people hated that game, but I loved it. I loved it. Anyway, now number 1. What is my number 1 most wanted new entry for a Nintendo game? Now, I've said this a bunch to my friends and other people. I haven't really made videos on... This is my first time making Nintendo videos, is on this channel. And that's a new F-Zero. I am so happy that F-Zero GX is coming to the Nintendo expansion pass with online play. I hope that gets a lot of engagement and a lot of playtime on it, because I want a new F-Zero. That F-Zero GX, to me, is the greatest racing game of all time. It's got a story mode. It's got all these characters. It was kind of like a fighting game. Every single character had their own ending. Like when you play a fighting game back in the old days where you beat the arcade mode with each single one and they all had this cool ending. They did that with F-Zero. Now, I don't know how they would go about it. Maybe it's just a racing game. Maybe it has walking around segments in between races. I feel like for a racing game like this, you want to get people into the races immediately. The way they told the story and everything worked out great. You don't even have to have walk around segments. You could just have cutscenes for that if you want to have a story mode. I would just be happy with a new game, new tech, and the best thing they could do is have a full-on... One cool thing they could do with the new F-Zero is they could literally make you have full customization of your vehicles, make your own character. That'd be super fun. There's so many things they could do with the new F-Zero. The F-Zero GX was so damn good, so complete of a game. They're like, we can't make a sequel to this. This is too perfect. And it shocks me they never re-released it on an actual cartridge. Instead, they saved it for the expansion pack, which kind of sucks. I was hoping I'd be able to get one on a new Nintendo cartridge and a new packaging and everything. That would have been super cool. So, anyway, so there you have it. There's my list. Quick recap. Jet Force Gemini, Dr. Mario, Fossil Fighters, Wario World, Mega Man, any version of it in 3D, Custom Robo, Star Fox, and F-Zero. What are some franchises you would like to see a new entry on the Switch 2? And sound off the comments below, and stay frosty.